Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, WDMichael, and in today's YouTube video, we're gonna be talking about the Blueberry Prologue, which is gonna be an online competition coming to the Pokemon Scarlet via video games, and will be the very first online official Pokemon tournament for the Indigo Disk DLC. Now, this tournament will have a very specific set of rules, which will only allow you to utilize Pokemon from the Blueberry Academy. So we've got some very unique team building ahead of us, and so let's hop into this video, check out all the details for this tournament so that you can get as ready as possible before this thing kicks off. All right, so here we are over on Cerebi.net, an absolutely fantastic resource for Pokemon information. And if you would like to check out this link for yourself, I will have it down below in the description of this video. But this is going to be our Blueberry Prologue information. Now, with the Blueberry Prologue, there is a couple of things with all of the online competitions for Pokemon. There is usually a registration window for a couple of weeks, and then there is a, like a weekend where we get a couple of days to play. So for this particular tournament, it is going to be opened up registration from January 4th, which was yesterday, up until January 14th, which is actually the end of the tournament. And they usually allow you to register even during when the tournament is live, just because they are online competitions and they're just meant to be for fun. The actual battle dates for this tournament are going to be January 12th to January 14th. So you have a weekend to do them. You generally get like 15 battles per day, and you generally get some rollovers. So like if you don't play the first day, you get like 30 battles the next day. I'm guessing this is how it's going to be. It has been a little while since we've had an online competition, so I don't know if they plan on changing anything, but that's just kind of what we've had in the past. This is going to be a doubles battle format, so VGC 2v2 battles, which means that we've got some really interesting team building ahead of us, because like I said, this competition is only allowing the Pokemon from the Blueberry Pokedex. So that means no Fluttermane, no Iron Hands, none of those like really popular Pokemon that everybody's been using for a really long time. Can't use those. We're only allowed to use the Pokemon from the Blueberry Pokedex, which still is kind of crazy because there's a lot of really good Pokemon in this DLC, or at least in the Blueberry Pokedex. And so we'll actually just kind of scroll through this and see what Pokemon kind of stand out and what Pokemon may end up working together. It may give you some ideas on what to team build for this one. But honestly, I'll be 100% honest. I think that Sun is probably going to be pretty decent just from the couple Pokemon that I know about. Yeah. So hopping into this, first off, we have Venusaur. Definitely a very viable Sun Pokemon. It gets Chlorophyll, which boosts its speed when in Sun, so that would definitely be something we could possibly see, especially with no Amoonguss. I don't believe Amoonguss will be in this list, so without Amoonguss, this might be one of our better options for like Sleep Powder. Charizard, maybe. I mean, with the Pokedex, with just the Blueberry Pokedex, Charizard might shine a little bit, but again, without Dynamax, probably not. There's probably going to be other better Pokemon to use in a fire typing kind of position, so probably won't see a whole lot of that one. Blastoise, maybe. Blastoise does get Water Spout, and I did end up seeing it on the like ladder the other day when I was playing on Showdown. Water Spout Blastoise can be really annoying, and especially with a limited format like this one, it could end up seeing a little bit more usage because it is fairly strong. I mean, it's definitely kind of an annoying Pokemon to have to face up against. Sandslash, I don't know too much about the Alolan Sandslash. I do know that it has Slush Rush, so it can get some boosted speed in snow, and with that having with Ninetales being up on the board, we might end up seeing some like snow teams. I mean, it's definitely got viability with these two Pokemon alone, just with Slush Rush and with Ninetales dropping in the snow. You could have Aurora Veil. Like, this could be a pretty solid combo, to be completely honest. I'd be kind of surprised if I didn't see at least one of these teams pop up on the competition. Vileplume, it's a worse Venusaur. Anytime you see Vileplume and Venusaur, you're always going to take Venusaur. It just is the rule of thumb. Like, it's better. So we probably won't see a lot of Vileplume. Venomoth, probably not. Dugtrio with like Arena Trap and stuff like that maybe can have like kind of a niche play. I could see it possibly being used. But probably not something that's going to end up taking over the entire Blueberry Prologue. Tentacruel, probably not. Golem has seen a little bit of usage. It's one of those niche picks that uses some, so it's got like decent stats where it can be utilized, but there's probably just better Pokemon, to be honest. Slowbro, maybe. If we're talking like Trick Room teams, Slowbro is definitely a solid Trick Room setter and could be utilized if that's what we're trying to go with. So maybe. I'll put a maybe on Slowbro. Magneton, probably not. Dodrio, probably not. Dugong, maybe if we're rocking like Perish. Alolan Muck has been pretty annoying. It definitely has some viability right now, even in Regulation F. So I can see it being used. I'll be honest. I think that one might be a little bit more annoying than most people think. With Minimize, this Pokemon can be really, really hard to deal with. And with Muck and I believe Smeargle being in the list with Moody and stuff like that, this could just be... I feel like the Alolan Muck Smeargle combo could be one of the probably more annoying things to face off against in this one. We've got Executor, possible Trick Room Setter. Other than that, probably not a whole lot. Hitmonchan, maybe. As like physical attacking like options for like, since we don't have Urshifu to use, like who knows, maybe they'll fit a niche on a team. They're not the best of Pokemon, obviously, like because we're never using them because we have other options, but with some of those options not here, maybe they might get used. Rhyhorn, Rhydon, we'll probably end up seeing some Rhyperior. If we can get like some good Trick Room set up, you might see some Rhyperior, Slowbro, stuff like that. But again, it all depends on what ends up getting like Follow Me, which is like Magmar and stuff like that. It's like potentially, but still ends up being a problem because we don't have these Psychic Train from Indeedee. It's like Seadra, Kingdra, Water teams, maybe. Chansey, probably not. Magmar, Electabuzz, probably there's a good chance we do. They're one of the few Pokemon that get Follow Me. And with Magmar's Flame Body, Follow Me can be really, really annoying, especially when it starts burning people. So potentially I could see them being used. Tauros, maybe it's a heavy attacker with some pretty interesting stuff. I think it has like Anger Point. So we might see that here pop up if somebody's trying to be a little bit crazy with some Anger Point shenanigans. Lapras, maybe, but again, it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, Aurora Veil, but yeah, like Ninetales is a better Aurora Veil setter, so we probably won't see a lot of Lapras. Porygon, maybe. I mean, if we're looking for like Trick Room stuff, Porygon might be a decent option for us to be thrown in some Trick Room kind of stuff. Meganium is absolutely the worst Pokemon. We won't see it. Typhlosion, Fast Eruption, maybe. You can get some like some quick eruptions off and possibly do some pretty crazy damage. For Alligator, probably not. Probably a little more niche pick. It's not something super crazy in Pokemon. Lantern, probably not. Bellossom, doubtful. Slowking, Trick Room, if we're rocking Trick Room, possibly. It could definitely be a decent Trick Room setter. Girafarig, if we're running like Eviolite, maybe, depending on what we end up having or what we have. It could fit on a team if we're needing something like that. Snubbull, Granbull, I really doubt. Coolfish, probably not. Scizor, good chance we'll probably see Scizor. Scizor's a really solid Pokemon, and with some of the other Pokemon not being here, could be used. But again, it's usually mainly used to like, it's always been one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm gonna bring Scizor because I hate Fluttermane and I want to kill Fluttermane. Well, I don't have Fluttermane in this one, so is there really a reason for it? I don't know. Skarmory, probably not. Like, if we're bringing a Steel type Pokemon, we're going to be bringing Scizor. Kingdra, maybe if we can get a solid rain team going with Swift Swim, because we get that boosted speed with Swift Swim, and Kingdra has been a pretty heavy, like, it can destroy some stuff pretty quickly, so maybe? Where are we at? Where do we go? Okay, there we are. Porygon 2, like I said, probably going to be one of the better Trick Room setter Pokemon. We'll probably end up seeing that one. Smeargle, I can almost guarantee we'll probably end up seeing it because it's already strong. And in a limited format like this one, it's probably going to be a pretty solid option for people. Like when they're going through this list of Pokemon to pick, it's going to stand out to a lot of people. So I'm sure we'll end up seeing it. Hitmontop is a solid fake out Pokemon. We could potentially be seeing that one. It's going to be this and Incineroar. So like, it's going to be one of the two we'll see a lot of. Especially with the fact that it gets Intimidate. Elekid and Magby, doubtful. Blissey, very doubtful. Sceptile, maybe. Like, I've seen some people run it, but again, I don't think it's the best Pokemon. Blaziken, there's this chance. Like I said, with some of these limited formats, with some of these like mediocre mid Pokemon, we might see them more. It's like Sceptile, Blaziken, Swampert. All might get used a little bit more, just due to the fact that the other Pokemon aren't there to, like, Rillaboom isn't here. Stuff like that. So maybe Slacking, potentially, if we're running like Whimsicott and we want to like get rid of its ability, we could maybe see it. It could be kind of annoying, especially since there probably won't be like a lot of Indeedees running around. Let's see. Plusle, Minun, Garbage, Nummel, no. Camerupt, maybe, but we have Torkoal, so more than likely Torkoal rather than Camerupt. You might see Camerupt. People like to use Camerupt from time to time, but Torkoal is just the better Trick Room Pokemon. So if we can get Trick Room, we've got Torkoal, we've got Rhyperior, Slowbro, Slowking. We've got some pretty good options, and then Porygon too. So I think Trick Room will probably be a really good. Probably see a lot of Trick Room, to be honest. Trapinch. Vibrava, Flygon, you might see some Flygon, but I don't really think it's anything too crazy. Altaria, probably not. Zangoose, maybe. Seviper, probably not. Love Disc is a terrible Pokemon, won't see it. Metagross, you're almost more than likely going to see it. It is a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. So we're probably going to see it. It's got a really massive stat pool, and with a lot of the other Pokemon gone, like Urshifu not being there, makes Metagross just really nice to have around. So I almost guarantee we're going to see Metagross. Torterra, probably not. Infernape, good chance you might see some of them pop around. It's a popular for a lot of people, and it's not terrible, so like maybe. Empoleon was kind of used at the beginning of the DLC when it first came out, just because it did get the competitive, so like we might see some more Empoleon. It did die down when we got a lot of the other Pokemon, but maybe. Rampardos is an interesting one. It does get Mold Breaker, so it could end up being a decent rock sliding Pokemon. I've seen it used on the ladder before, and it was kind of interesting, so like maybe we might see some Rampardos rock slides if people are thinking about rock sliding. Bastiodon, I doubt. I don't really think there's anybody going to be running Bastiodon. I just don't think that it has enough. I mean, potentially, like I said, with a limited format, it might be one of those bulkier Pokemon that people might try to use. Now like Urshifu's gone. But we'll see. Luminian, very doubtful. Abomasnow, another snow Pokemon, so potentially for rocking like Ninetales, stuff like that, it could be used. Magnezone, potentially. It's not a terrible Pokemon, and in a limited format, it might be pretty interesting to run. Like I said, without like Urshifu, this might be pretty decent. Rhyperior, we'll probably see a little bit of with the Trick Room teams. I bet we'll see it. It's a strong Pokemon, and it's got a really nice speed stat to where it could do some pretty cool stuff. Electivire and Magmortar, they're strong. Like they could be used, but I don't see them being like the centerpiece for this particular like little competition. So like maybe, but probably won't see a whole lot of. Porygon Z could be really interesting with a lot of the change, like without all of the ghost type Pokemon and some other stuff like that. Porygon Z might be a pretty interesting play. It was so heavily used in Sword and Shield where this Pokemon, like, people might go, huh, this might be our opportunity. And we might see some Porygon Z play. But that'll be, who knows. Rotom, probably not. I don't really see a whole lot. Serperior, more than likely, will be one of the more popular starter Pokemon with Contrary and the ability to, like, boost its stats as well as it does. We're probably going to see Serperior. I'd be really surprised if you didn't see a lot of Serperior. Emboar, probably not. It's not really a Pokemon that I think anybody's super crazy about because of Incin. It just ends up dying to, like, there's a better Pokemon. Samurott, maybe. It's a decent one Pokemon or a singles Pokemon, and in a limited format could be okay. Zebstrika is funny. Somebody in my stream last night was talking about building a Zebstrika team. I believe it was King Token actually, and they built it, and so that'd be funny. It'd be funny to see a Zebstrika team pop around. Excadrill, potentially. I don't know if we have any sand like Pokemon. If we have any weather setters for sand, then Excadrill will definitely be a really solid option for people to use. It all depends on who ends up getting Sandstorm, if any, to where that ends up getting utilized. Whimsicott, we will absolutely more than likely see a million of these Pokemon. It's probably one of the strongest Pokemon in this particular format, or at least this particular like tournament. It's got Prankster, Tailwind, and a million other things that it can utilize to really like glue a team together. You know, you get 5 Pokemon, and you're like, okay, what can I help out with this team? The Whimsicott just does so much in terms of support where it can really just boost almost any team. It's so good. And I would be really surprised if we didn't see a ton of them. Crocodile, if we see some, like I said, with Tauros, we might see some like anger point things. Anytime we get a limited format like these, some of those like crazy little techs that don't get ran that much because of all the other Pokemon end up getting ran usually. And I could see people trying to run anger point Crocodile. Absolutely. Scrafty, probably not. Cincino, maybe. Gothitelle, probably. I mean, it's fake out. It's got Perish Song. Like, I could see people using Gothitelle. I bet you we get some Perish Trap in here. I'll be honest. I bet you we get a bunch of Perish Trap people. Reniculus, maybe it's a decent Trick Room sweeper. It can use Trick Room. It can be utilized in a Trick Room setting. So potentially, I don't know how great it's gonna be, but it definitely it's an option. Sawsbuck, probably not. Aloma Mola, probably not. Galvantula, maybe it's got some speed, like it can help out with some speed issues and stuff like that. So maybe. Electros, nah, it's not gonna happen. I really doubt it. I don't really see a whole lot of people running Electros. Haxorus is a dragon Pokemon, decent speed stat. We'll probably see some of that thing. Beartick, another one of those Slush Rush users, could be utilized with Ninetales. Definitely a possibility on this one. Golurk, no idea. Never really used them, never seen them. I doubt it. Braviary has a potential. I mean, it is a restricted format, so with like Tailwind and stuff like that, and the decreased amount of people that you can utilize for Tailwind, that bet should be decent. I'll be honest, I bet you Braviary is pretty decent. Mandibuzz, I mean, it's a dark type, flying type Pokemon with, I believe, also that gets Tailwind, if I'm not wrong. Can't be taunted by pranksters, so like it could be a decent option against like Whimsicott, maybe. It'll just depend on what it ends up getting. Chestnut, probably not. We'll probably see some people run it, but I doubt it. I doubt it's gonna get used a whole lot. Delphox, maybe. Like, I don't know. Is it actually usable in a limited format? I don't know. I haven't really seen a whole lot of it. I don't see people building with it, so. Greninja, maybe. I know that it's one of its like abilities is broken, so they don't allow it. So I don't think people are gonna be rocking too much Greninja. For a Tailwind setter, Talonflame's a really solid option. We'll probably see some Talonflame Tailwind. I'd be kind of surprised if we didn't, just because it is a pretty like, it's one of these stronger Tailwind users. It's not the best, but it's decent, and in a limited format, I bet you it does really well. Pyroar, nah. Esper, Meowstic, maybe it's another one of those prankster Pokemon in limited formats. Any Pokemon that gets like a move that's really usable, but without the Pokemon to use it, it still could be utilized. Malamar, more than likely. It's been used pretty, like, we still see people use it right now in Regulation F, and with a limited format. I can see people trying to be froggy with it. I bet you it's gonna happen. Decidueye, probably not. It's not the worst option, but I don't think it's gonna be used a lot. This will probably be our #1 Pokemon in usage right here. Incin will probably be on every single team that we see, so anybody who can deal with this is going to be fantastic, and that particular person will be probably Primarina. So if we're talking about like the two most used Pokemon, it's probably gonna be Incineroar, and then we're probably gonna get a lot of Primarina. Primarina does so well into Incineroar, it's crazy. So like, I bet you these two are gonna be battling out for a lot of usage. Trumbeak, probably not. Crabominable, doubtful. It'll be used on a snow team, but not a lot of them. Araquanid is a very good Trick Room Pokemon. We will probably see a really good chunk of it. Comfy, maybe it's a decent support Pokemon. Minior, no. Bruxish, maybe it's like a cheaper Farigiraf. We might see it. Rillaboom. Okay, so Rillaboom is in here. Well, if Rillaboom isn't here, then some of the other Pokemon I said won't be getting used, like Swampert, probably not going to use, but we'll see probably a lot of Incin Rillaboom teams. I'll be honest, you're going to get a lot of Incin Rillaboom. That's going to be a massive core. It's got so much fake out and without Indeedee on the field. Yep. That's going to be a rough one. Cinderace, maybe it's a limited format. It might be popped off for a little bit. Inteleon, same thing. I don't know, probably doubtful, but it might be. Alcremie is decent. It's a nice support Pokemon with a limited format. It might be. Oh, it might be going to be used. Like, Decorate's really, really good. I'll be honest. Decorate is really good. Cleavor is a solid option. We might see some Cleavor. Cleavor's a really good Pokemon. Eviolite Duraludon, probably not. We'll probably see more Archaludon, to be honest. Rabsca? Who knows? Maybe. Here's the Farigiraf. So with Farigiraf, I'm guessing Trick Room teams are going to be really good. You've got a lot of Trick Room potentials with like Frigoraph. We've got Torkoal. We've got Slowbro, Rhyperior. And that'll probably be what I bring. I'll probably bring Trick Room with Frigoraph. Walking Wake, Iron Leaves, Archaludon, all fantastic Pokemon. Walking Wake is going to be a huge Sun type Pokemon. Probably see a lot of Sun teams, and this guy is going to be right smack dab in the middle of it. Iron Leaves, it's terrible. Archaludon, maybe. It hasn't been super consistent, but it has been utilized, and it's a strong Pokemon. Limited format probably makes it a little bit stronger. Hydrapple is an interesting one. We'll probably see some of it. It's a little bit of a niche pick, and I don't know, man. That one's a hard one. I really think like we're gonna see it, but I don't think it's gonna win the whole thing, and I think that it'll just be one of those like offshoot random Pokemon we've faced, and it's annoying. But the rest of these are all absolutely gonna use. We're gonna see a lot of Gouging Fire. We're gonna see a lot of Raging Bolt. We're definitely gonna see some Iron Boulder. Iron Crown without Indeedee may not be as used. And then Terapagos, maybe. But I don't think that we have any Psychic Terrain Setters in here, so that alone is going to make these size spam pretty hard to run. So I'm really thinking that like, and also like there's no Indeedee and there's a Rillaboom. Like size spam, Iron Crown's probably not going to be the best option, but like Snow teams, Sun teams, Trick Room teams, I think are all going to be like the three big. I think those will be some of the biggest ones. You might still see some Rain teams with like Whimsicott and like Kingdra or Blastoise. But man, yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I think this is gonna be a lot more weather orientated just from looking through these Pokemon, seeing what we have available. I think we're gonna see a lot of weather, man. I'll be honest. I think weather's gonna be big. We've got Ninetales coming in, which is one of the best weather setting Pokemon. We've got Torkoal. Yeah, it's gonna be big. I think Sand isn't gonna be as helpful. I think Sand's gonna be the one that ends up getting hit the worst. But I think like Aurora Veil, Snow, Sun teams, Trick Room teams, I think are all gonna be really, really strong teams. Potentially some like Follow Me people with some setup Pokemon, so like Blastoise, Shell Smash with like with Water Spout maybe could definitely be used. But yeah, we got some really interesting Pokemon. I'm really excited about this tournament. I'm actually like, now that I'm done with this video, I'm probably gonna hop on out and start working on the showdown and start figuring out the team that I want to run, because this seems interesting. I'm actually really excited about this one. And on top of it, we get 1,000 league points. So where's that? 10,000. We get 10,000 league points. I mean, free money is free money. We'll take it. But yeah, it's super sick. I'm excited about the Blueberry Prologue. Yo, thank you all so much for coming out to this YouTube video where we talked about the upcoming Blueberry Prologue, the online competition for the Pokemon Scarlet Violet video games, and the very first online competition for the DLC games that we have, which is really, really awesome. I'm glad that we get to have like this small little format where we get to use just the Pokemon from the DLC. Playing a lot of the competitive regulations can get a little bit boring because we've been playing with some of these Pokemon for so long that it's like, you know, sometimes I just want to not play with them, you know, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, all that kind of stuff, and just do something different. And these online competitions give us exactly that. It's something a little bit different, something to take our time and work on something just a little bit different than the regular old norm. So I really like it. I'm really excited. I think that I'm really going to stick with Trick Room. I really think that Trick Room is going to do really, really well in this because there's not going to be a lot of options to stop Trick Room once it's up. So I think Trick Room might be in it. I think it'll be a lot of fun to bust out with Trick Room. But I'm curious, out of all the different Pokemon that we looked at and all the possible archetypes that we could be bringing into this one, what are you thinking about bringing to the Blueberry Prologue? Like, what is the archetype that stood out the most to you? Was it Sun? Was it a Snow team? Was it Trick Room? Was it Balance? Was it Tailwind? What was it? I would definitely love to hear about it down in the comments. But again, thank you all so much. Again, if you like these kind of YouTube videos from me, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell so you get notified when I drop more videos just like this one. Also, make sure you're checking out that community tab over on my YouTube channel because I post a lot of pictures that I drop over on my Instagram for like guides, and I also drop a lot of polls that I really like to drop on my YouTube community page, just because it's fun seeing where everybody in the community lies on certain issues, like who's your favorite Elite Four member from the Blueberry Academy, or who's your favorite Kanto starter. All those kind of things I drop over on my community page, so just go check them out, drop on by, scroll by, click a vote, and let us know which one's your favorite, because I have a lot of fun going through them and checking them out and seeing what everybody actually ends up thinking about them. So hop on over. If you like seeing my content live, if you're a live viewer, hop on over my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/WDMichael. You get notified when I go live. You drop a follow, and I will be playing a ton of Pokemon content over there, from Pokemon VGC, shiny hunting, or just overall hanging out with my community in a union group, farming blueberry quests. So hop on over there, drop me a follow, come hang out while I'm live. I'm usually live anywhere from Wednesday through Saturday, roughly after 9 p.m., but I do have kids, so like, hey, it's never perfect. But again, thank you all so much for coming out to this YouTube video. I cannot thank you all enough for the support over this 2023 year. This is one of our first videos of 2024. I'm excited for 2024. I got a lot of goals to hit, and I'm definitely not stopping until we hit them. So we got a lot of work to do. And so until next time, trainers, I hope you have a fantastic time out in that Paldea, the Kitakami, and now the Blueberry Academy. And until next time, peace out.